music. He's like love, 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 and music. La la la, love, 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 and music. Love, love.
Hello, everyone. It's 3 a.m. Last review of the night. Tonight's lipstick is, I think it's pronounced Aisha or Aisha. I don't know. It's Ayesha from Kat Von D from Sephora. Yep, y'all getting the bare minimum. I'm just joking. Mugs are still available. The link to get my mug is in the comment. Lord Jesus, it's in the description box below. And the I'm F.A.T t-shirts are also still available. The link to get those is below as well in the description box. 16 and pregnant, Teen Mom, Young and Pregnant. This is season 1, episode 5. I still love this series, which is why I give y'all reviews at 3 a.m. So, let's get into it. Brianna and Danae have made up after all the antics they had in Chicago the prior week. They're back home with her mama, and they had a little baby shower, and now they are happy and love each other, and it's all beautiful raindrops and rainbows and lollipops and leprechauns and all that stuff. Everything is so good because they so damn young. Oh, just drives me crazy. They just so young and so silly, and so just think the world is just a beautiful place, and it's gonna all work out. Girl, bye. At one point, they're sitting around talking, and Brianna says, yeah, my mom just wonders why you have to live with us. And I told, why can't they go back and forth between this house and his own house? And then she said, I told her because, that's like telling me to sleep somewhere else, embracing is still here. We can't. So Danae and Brianna's really doing this we the parent a baby or whatever. So if you say so. Danae then says, hey, I looked into this step parent adoption or whatever, and I think I should adopt them. And then Brianna says, well, okay, that's an idea. We can look into it. He says, if I do that, he could have my last name, but you would have to live with me, because we will be domestic partners. And if we're domestic partners, then I can adopt him, and he can get my last name to be fine. And then she's like, we can talk about it. Yeah, she's like, but for right now, I kind of want to keep his name what it is, and leave it at that. And so then they look like, okay. And then he said, we're going to talk about it though, because we're the parents, we're going to discuss it. I like how Brianna didn't just say, okay. I like how, because my thing is, Danae is the father figure. I get that. I completely get that. However, I don't know how this is going to work out. I also don't know, I don't remember how old Danae is. I don't. And I feel like Danae and Brianna are making these young decisions with lifelong circumstances, and you just don't know what's gonna happen. And I also would, even if you want to be the father figure in my child's life and we're together right now, I'm not going to agree to have you adopt my child, because if push comes to shove and some craziness happens, I honestly would not want to have to fight you over the child. You know what I'm saying? And I know that sounds horrible, but again, they so young, they think everything is great, and they have no idea what it's like to have a newborn baby. They just don't get it. So, they'll get it figured out though. Then we see that Brianna's in labor. She's at home, of course, the time of her contractions, she's like, oh my God, can y'all please shut up? She's going through it. She gets to the hospital. She was in labor for 19 hours. Because it was like, okay, this is at 6 hours. This is at 9 hours. This is at 10. And it was like hours and hours and hours and hours of her trying to push. She's screaming and crying. He's not moving. what don't you understand? And she was, but that's a part of like, my sister was in labor with my nephew for about like 15 hours, a long ass time. And, you know, it just, sometimes it takes forever. But she young, she don't know that. And the first baby. So her walls probably weren't old enough to push the baby out. So, you know, she ends up having to have a C-section because, of course, the baby did not come out. So she had a C-section after 19 hours of labor. And then 2 hours later, the baby was here. And the baby's name is Brayson Messiah Jaramillo. That name is going to be very confusing to people looking at resumes in 18 years. Let's just say that, and I'm leaving it at that. So we do see in the car ride home, Danae goes to the store to get them some food. So when he goes to the store, her mom gets in the back seat and they just looking at the baby, and her mom and her, they're whispering. I don't know if they was whispering, assuming the cameras couldn't hear them, like they didn't have mics on. I'm not sure, but we fully heard y'all. And they were just discussing how she did not allow Danae to put his name on the birth certificate. And her mom was happy about that. And she said, well, yeah, you know, I didn't let him sign. I told him, you know, it doesn't matter because you're the father figure. You're the father. You have that title. We don't have to wait. You don't worry about it right now. You know, it'll be years before you'll be able to put your name on it too. I don't know if legally, if a woman who trans to a male can put their name on a birth certificate as a father. I really wonder how that works, because I'm like, I don't know. Like, I wonder if two women who have a baby, they're two lesbians, and one woman births a child and the other person is also the other parent. I don't think they put the other female's name as other parent. I do wonder if the way things have changed now with more same-sex couples, transgender couples, just the fluidness of things, if they have changed any wording on birth certificates to be like, okay, because if two lesbians have a baby and the two moms are legally whatever and they're the legal parent, like, does both name, I just confuse myself. But yeah, I do wonder if legally, if Danae would have been allowed to put his name on the birth certificate. I think before you can even be classified your new sex, you have to like get changes of stuff. Like they brought up how Caitlyn had to like get a whole new ID to identify as female and no longer have a Bruce identification or a license. So I wonder if Danae has went through that process, or if Danae is just living his life as a male but hasn't like legally changed, you know, anything. So I'm like, how do we even know he would have been able to put his name on in the first place? Anyway, I just got all off track. I'm sorry, y'all. So yeah, her mom just saying how, you know, she said, you know, it'll be some years before we can even think about putting his name on the birth certificate or whatever. And, you know, he just needs to kind of accept that. And I'm like, okay. You know, she says how, then so they go home and it's all cute. The baby getting all wrapped up. Now the baby does have a deformity. One of the arms is, I think, yes, the one of the arms has a deformity too. I think it's like the right arm. I can't remember which one it was. But the baby does look adorable. Just adorable. I want to take it and die. So we see Danae is there. He's being great with the baby, helping Brianna, whatever. We then see Danae and Angela's mom. We then see Danae and Brianna's mom have a conversation, and you know, mom admits, okay, you've been around here, helping out a lot. You know, you've really been good. You are the father figure to the child. So, since you're already here all the time, it's fine for you to move in. But she do say, you know, you would need to chip in. And then he says, well, you know, I was paying rent where I was, so I'll pay rent here too to help y'all or whatever. And, you know, he seems like he is being a great father figure to the baby. You know, we shall see what happens later on, because we do see a big argument of him saying, well, go then. So I do wonder where that came from. And that was all with him. So yeah, he is officially moving in. Lexi and Kyler. Lexi and Kyler are immature. Lexi and Kyler are not ready to be parents. They both are just kids. They are the quintessential. When you say kids having kids, them is some kids having kids. They are younger or act younger mentally and emotionally than Danae and Brianna. Honestly, they do. You know, Lexi's mom is saying how, you know, they want to meet with her and Kyler. Her mom and the mom's husband, who's Lexi's stepfather, wants to meet with Lexi and Kyler to see what their plan is. She's like, you know, we can't just wait until the baby gets here. You know, you're due any day now, so we have to kind of get things planned out. When we see Kyler go talk to, and we see Lexi go talk to Kyler to tell him that's what they want to do. He, you know, it's like, we want you to kind of be there for the first week and, you know, kind of see what happens. And he says, well, I'm going to follow y'all lead. You know, it's your house. I don't want to kind of make any plans. I'll be there for the first week, and whatever happens, and I'm going to be there. She's like, you know, you have to kind of give an opinion. You can't just like not have any plans. And, you know, he like, you know, it's y'all house. I can't make the rules. You know, whatever y'all say is what I'm going to abide by. And at this point, she's aggravated with him. She's like, you know, you just aggravate me right now. You know, you won't make any decisions. You need to make more decisions, because if you don't, it's just not going to work out. And I'm like, well, who the fuck decision was it to not use condoms? That's what I keep wondering. He then says how 90% of the time, whatever suggestions I have, y'all shut down. So I just leave it alone. And she said, well, okay, how about you help me pick a name? He says, okay, how about Tobias? She said, you know what? I like Tobias. Do you like Tobias? He says, no, but it doesn't matter because you're picking a name. I said, this little motherfucker right here, that would have pissed me off too. I kind of get what he's saying. It's a thing of sometimes if you do have suggestions and comments, because the woman is pregnant, sometimes they do take precedent over what's going to really happen. But I do think he should still say something. Because if you don't say nothing, then they can't shoot down nothing. And you just seem like you just petty and you don't want to, be involved. And it's just stupid. This is what makes me burp. And I keep drinking it. But, yeah. So, they do have the meeting with the mom and the husband, the stepfather. And they're asked, like, okay, what's the plan? And neither one of them have a plan because they're fucking kids. You know, the mom says, like, you know, I feel like I just had you, which is crazy. And, you know, the mom likes, like, do y'all even plan to get a job or whatever? The only plan they have is they plan for the baby to come out her coochie. And when it come out her coochie, he gonna stay at the house for a week. That's all they have. They don't have any jobs, which is crazy to me because they both known the baby was coming. I'm surprised even he don't have a job. But I'm like, at the same time, he a kid. So, like, what jobs would he even apply for? I mean, like, a mall job, you know. Maybe work at a gas station. You know, flip some burgers. You can be an acrobat. All kind of stuff you can do. But, you know, I'm just like, they not ready. They're not at all. At all. I think they are the least prepared of all the people on Young and Pregnant, and it's the craziest thing. Hell, even what's the girl name? Stefan and Kayla are more prepared than they are, and that's crazy because Stefan and Kayla are both batshit crazy. Jade and Sean. Jade, I think, has postpartum. I do. You know, we see Sean is working 12-hour shifts. Jade is at home with the baby a lot, and she's feeling the what happens when you're a mom. She's tired, she's sleepy, the baby won't quit crying, the baby won't eat. She's just going through all the motions, and she feels as if she's doing it alone because, again, Sean works so much. We see her calling her mom because at one point she's like, I don't know how much to feed the baby, and she was just going through the motions or whatever. The mom's kind of like, you know, 2 ounces of this, you know, if the baby doesn't want it, don't force feed it. She then says she won't eat it, and her mom said it's fine. She's like, she's going to sleep, we'll let her sleep. It was a funny thing because she just has kind of no idea what to do, and she's just freaking out as a new mom. And it's funny but not funny, but it's really, really fucking funny. So we just see she's basically spinning out of control and she's just struggling. She's saying how she feels depressed at times. Again, I feel like she has some form of postpartum. She's telling Sean as they're riding in the car how much of a hard time she's having, and he feel like he don't think she's having a hard time. He's not saying that she's not. He's saying when I'm around, I don't see it, and because I'm not around much, I can't attest to what you're saying because I don't witness it. But he's like, I don't want you to be, tired and grumpy and feel depressed. I don't want you to do any of that. So how about we get the baby into some daycare so that way you have breaks in between and you're not just there with the baby all the time. No, I don't want my baby in some daycare. I was like a crappy mom if I just did not take care of my baby. You can't have it both ways. You can't be overworked and when someone gives you a solution, you don't like it. Okay, it's just crazy. But a lot of moms do have that guilt of, I don't want my child being in the daycare too early because I should be able to take care of my baby. But if you're feeling overwhelmed, you need to accept some help. Okay? So at this point, I'm so tired. You work so much. You're always gone. You aren't here much for me. He's like, well, sometimes I'm up at night with the baby. No, you're not. And I try not to wake you up because, you have to work. So when she's like, at night, you're sleeping because you have to go to work. And then I have her. And then when you're at work all day, I have her. I have no break. And he then announced that he quit his job for her. And he says, you were complaining to how depressed you were, and I don't want you depressed. The fact that he said you were complaining and you were unhappy, and I don't want you being unhappy. So I quit my job so that I can be a stay-at-home dad. I said, now some might say, oh, he don't want to work. Nah. I think he realized how hard it is to be with that baby because he see what she going through. And I feel like his job probably was just a job. He probably just didn't care. And he probably felt like, okay, one of us has to stay home with the baby. She already said that she don't want the baby in daycare. So that's not an option. So the only option I can do is I try to go to work part-time. They would not let me do part-time as he said. He said, so the only option for me to do was to put in my 2-week notice. And then she's like, well, why wouldn't you talk about, he should have talked to her first. He really, really should have. I felt like the gesture was nice, but he should have had a conversation with her beforehand. She said, I'm just scared of how we're going to pay our bills. He said, we're going to pay them. We're going to be fine. But he said, because once you go back to work, it'll be cool. And she then says, like, well, I don't know when I can go back. I have to be cleared by my doctor. It should do within 6 to 8 weeks. And I mean, it's a noble gesture to do that. The reason of him doing it was absolutely beautiful and wonderful. Why I'm like, where am I painting at? But it's just higher up and the camera's turned up. I got really, like, why is my window so bare? But it's still up there. I'm tripping. It's 3:15. So yeah, I was shocked when he said he quit his job. And the reason he said he quit it, but the reason was wonderful. And she at this point is panicking because she's like, how are we going to pay our bills? But I'm like, for him to say, you can work and I'll be a stay-at-home dad. Because I do wonder if she don't want the baby to be in daycare, what did she think was going to happen when they both had to go back to work? Like, they would have to use daycare. Or, because I'm like, I guess they have no one that can watch the child because she don't have no help now. So, I mean, we shall see how that goes. And if he really quits the job and what we're going on, but, it was a good gesture. And, we'll get it figured out in the next episode. Ashley and Bar in this episode was really easy. Honestly, it was. They had a little quick conversation about how, she wants him to put together a baby bed. He feel like they don't need it. And she's like, where are they going to sleep? This fool said she can sleep in the bed with us between some pillows. That is how babies suffocate. That is how babies get that. Look, you can't. No. Her mama heard him say that, and she was like, no, y'all can't do that. Y'all are young parents. Y'all can't be trying to do stuff as if y'all are veterans. As a new parent, you can't sleep with your baby in the bed. Just don't do it. You know what I'm saying? It do take time to be able to do that. And I feel like your baby, no, you just can't. It's just not a good idea. My godson, who I helped raise from the time he was born, until he was around 4 or 5 because his mom was in school to be a nurse and everything. So I basically I didn't work and I kept the baby. We would sleep with him in the bed with us, but I would consistently wake up to be sure Teron was okay. And we had like big out, but it was just me in the bed. It wasn't me and anyone else. So I would put like big, huge pillows on one side of the wall and next to me to where I couldn't get over the pillow. And I made sure that cause I had a huge bed. So I made sure there was enough space for him to like not suffocate. But it was a thing because I didn't have a crib in my house. You know what I'm saying? And I kept him at my house. So I can attest, you don't want to have a baby in the bed with you when there's two of y'all in that bed. And I'm pretty sure y'all don't have no huge bed. And it's easy to say, oh, I won't roll over on the baby. Yes, the fuck you will. Okay, it happens. So I like how mom heard some foolishness and said, y'all can't do that. Don't do that. Put the goddamn bed together. Or get a bassinet. Some people who they don't want to have a big crib, because the baby won't sleep in the crib the first couple months. It is true. You get a bassinet. So that way the baby is in a bassinet next to the bed and you don't have to put together such a big crib. But they dumb and they don't realize that, but it is what it is. They both feel like Mama Pastor, I'll call her Mama Pastor, should not be giving her 2 cents. And they both kind of seem frustrated, but they don't say shit. I'm like, whatever. They then take like a little trip before she goes into, before she has a baby, to hang out with some friends. Her sister also goes. And that's basically all that we're seeing. We do see, because they wanted a break from their parents, because both their parents are very, very much so involved in their situations. We see Barra basically telling Ashley's sister that she wants to propose to her eventually. Like, not today, but when he when the time is right, he wants to propose. But we then see Ashley talking about how she does not want to get married right now. How she does not want to get married solely because she having some man's baby. Saying how I wanted to be, get a career, get married, and then have a baby. It didn't happen in that order, but I don't want to get married just because someone knocked me up. I have things I want to accomplish. I think that's a great way to think about things, but it's also a thing of realizing they must not talk much about the future, because if he thinks I should propose, but he don't realize that she's not ready for marriage, they not communicating the right way. So, it is what it is. And that's all that happened with them. Kayla and Steven was pretty easy as well, too. This is going to sound dumb, y'all, so don't jump down my throat. However, I can respect that Steven thinks they will be fine. I can respect the fact that, because he said to her, when they were sitting there talking, it almost came out, thank God. But he said how, you're going to be a great mom. And, I just want to match your greatness. And I think for that, we're going to be okay. Kayla is focused on them being a couple. And what I mean by saying I can respect Steven is under the guise of we can co-parent. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. We can co-parent and be great. He not worried about no relationship. He isn't. He's a piece of shit, yes. He cheated and he's horrible. I completely get that. But I can respect the fact that he understands they gonna need to co-parent whether they together or not. Whereas she feel like if we not a couple, how we gonna co-parent? I don't like that. I can respect him enough and I can say enough. At least he get it. At least he know even if I ain't with her, I have to be a father. And I feel like regardless if I'm with her or not, she gonna be a fantastic mom, and I'm gonna match her greatness. I think that's a good thing for him to say and to admit and to put out to the atmosphere. When she bring up how he be fucking up and stuff, he admits, I did. I'm only 19. He's a kid. I'm only 19. I made some immature choices, but I'm trying to step up as a father. And again, I can respect what he's trying and what he's saying he gonna do. Now, of course, we don't know what's gonna happen in the future. I can't talk about that. What I can talk about is what we see on the screen. And again, this is a man who is fucked up and cheated on this girl, but he realized me and her don't matter. What matters is his baby and us being good parents. So when they were coming back from like a doctor's appointment, and she brings up how she had a maternity shoot plans, he's pissed. And she's like, what are you mad for? He's like, well, how many times did we talk about a maternity shoot? She's like, well, we did when we were a couple. And he was like, look, we still a family. You know what I'm saying? We still a family, and that's the family thing. You know, the pictures were to commemorate, you know, the family. And again, he's saying to her, we not in a relationship, but we're still a family. You're mom, I'm dad, that's our baby, and I want to still do these family things with you. And I feel like as long as he's saying, I know we ain't together, but I want to still be a family unit for this child, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, as long as they are clear and concise the rules. So we ain't together, we not fucking, we mama and daddy, and that's it, and we gonna be able to co-parent. And you know, she then says, like, you know, it's gonna be hard to co-parent if we not together. And that's the problem with some people, who they think if y'all ain't together, y'all can't co-parent. The definition, to my understanding, of co-parenting is if you have two people parenting a child and they're trying to work together, because they're not a couple, like co-workers. We ain't no couple. We both work for the same place, so we both do a job for somebody. Co-parenting, you're both doing a job for the child. And the fact that Kayla doesn't get that is, I think, the reason why he keeps cheating on her, because she wants a relationship and he doesn't. And it's just, girl, you stupid. She was in the car with her friend, and I wasn't listening at all. I can honestly say that. You know, we do see that Stefan gets to the photo shoot, and he's taking pictures, and they keep telling him to smile, and he kind of won't. I don't think he's not smiling because he's not happy. I think he don't like his smile. I think he knows some of his features at times can look a little funny. Okay, and he's not trying to have weird pictures, so he's trying to look how he usually looks, and I think he usually does not smile. And that's kind of how the episode went off. So, whatever. Anywho, it's late. I'm sleepy. I hope you guys enjoy this review. I'm about to, you know, edit this stuff and get it up. Hopefully, I can be in bed by 4:30 at the latest 5, because I have to go somewhere in the morning before I go to work. So, other than that, people, I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner. Peace.